Imagine having the opportunity to tour with world-class musicians like Cher, Pink, and Foreigner. But there's just one problem. You have stage fright. Well, coming up on ILTV, I'm going to introduce you to a man who overcame that and became one of the top drummers in the industry and a world-renowned speaker, teaching people just like you how to step into your inner rock star. Coming up next. Hi, I'm Carrie Murphy, and welcome to Inspired Living TV, where we inspire lives and empower entrepreneurs. You have trained hard. You have worked for this moment. You have put everything into it. And here's your chance. And you feel like you completely botched it. And that fear of doing it again, of being judged, of doing it wrong, keeps you from living out your greatest dream and purpose. But what if it didn't have to be that way? Today, my guest, I am so excited to bring him to you. Marc Schulman has traveled the world with world-class musical acts like Cher, Pink, Foreigner, and so many more, and had to overcome that same thing in his own life, and has also realized how much attitude really plays into creating your own rock star life. Marc, I am so excited to sit down with you.
That was such a superb intro. Can I take you with me anywhere? Actually, yes. I prepared a little gift for you. Hey, Carrie Ann, what's your game now? Can anybody play? I know it's an old 60s song, but it seems so appropriate.
Oh.
And is your middle name Ann?
It is.
It is.
I love it, and I don't think I've been serenaded before, so anytime. Thank you for that.
Well, just call me anytime you need it.
I will. I will. I have your number.
Oh, good. That's true you do.
So I have seen you perform with Pink at the Staples Center. Now, first of all, I have to say that is an amazing show. But sir, you seriously rock it. You rock it. Pun intended. But you are so good. But you actually had to overcome stage fright? I can't even imagine that was something that you ever dealt with. Tell us about that.
Well, it started when I miserably failed an audition for this band that was from the 80s called Bad English, like a supergroup with guys from Journey and then John Waite. And a friend of mine, Dan Reed, who's still a good friend of mine, he set me up and he said, man, you'd be perfect for this. And I was set up and I was going to go do this audition. And I was ready. I was going to be the guy. And then I got overwhelmed with stage fright. And it caused me to rush. It caused me to sort of lose my foundation of tempo, which is so critical for a drummer. And after I got over the initial heartbreak, and literally crying in my car and beating the steering wheel and saying,
how could I do that? Yeah.
I made two promises to myself. And the first one was I would perfect my internal sense of time so nobody would ever tell me I was speeding up or slowing down unless I want to speed up or slow down. And the next one is I would sort of move my anxiety and fear into confidence. So I made these commitments and I stuck to it. So I studied for many years to get my meter perfect, and then I studied a lot of philosophy and studied with different teachers, one of the greatest of which I'm writing my second book, Dr. Jim Samuels. And it kind of came down to attitude for me. But I ended up writing a book called Conquering Life Stage Fright, my first book, which is based on a concept of 3 C's: clarity, capability, confidence. Clarity, you are identifying your goal or goals and determining the skills you need to get there. Capability, once your goal is clear, you become proficient at those skills. And confidence, perfection of those skills leads you naturally to confidence.
Okay, so, hang on. I just want to make sure you got that. Clarity,
CCC,
capability, confidence. Because I teach people how to be on camera and how to they all want to make a difference in the world, Marc. They want to be their own rock stars.
Right.
And yet they might press record once or have a moment where someone said to them, oh my gosh, that was not so great. And it stops them from ever going further with it and giving up. It can take just one time. And by the way, we all know the biggest fear on the planet is getting up on a stage. And you do that for a living.
I know.
And I'm you speak to Fortune 500 companies. It's just amazing how you've taken your love of music and help people really understand the attitude and mindset that it takes to show up powerfully.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to the 3 C's, you really have to have a very clear goal. I mean, a crystal clear goal about whatever it is you want to accomplish. Once you have that crystal clear goal, then you need to become very proficient. You need to develop your capability. And that's the part that a lot of people might miss. It can be the 10,000 Gladwell hours.
Right,
you
right.
develop whatever you can because the capability is what brings you naturally to confidence.
Good, right.
Because sometimes you will feel very insecure, but you've done the work. The work is what carries you through. So the example of a speech, I'm a professional speaker now. I do a lot of keynotes. And I interviewed a lot of people about their experiences, a lot of top performers. People like Tony Hsieh, the CEO of Zappos.
Yeah, amazing.
And he says, this guy, he's a billionaire. He doesn't have to speak. He speaks for fun. But he says, the first minute of every speech, he's scared to death.
Yeah, I still get those
so
butterflies.
he says what he does is he has a go-to story that he's practiced so much that gives his body a chance to calm down. By the time he settles in, then he feels okay. Because what people also forget about stage fright is that really usually, for 95% of us, it goes away.
Yes, it
after
does.
about 45 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
So you do something that you know you can do. For me, I get up and play drums first.
Yeah.
It's the thing I'm most comfortable at. So I get up and play drums because I have the butterflies too.
Yeah.
And after about 45 seconds of playing drums, then I feel, okay, everything just kind of calms down. Yeah. And then I jump into my speech.
Yeah.
And if you're giving a presentation, it's the same thing. But I got to tell you, if you're not rehearsed, you should be scared.
Right.
Your body is telling you the truth.
Yeah.
So in my book, I give a lot of examples, and the book is written for people that all have sort of different viewpoints about it.
And I'll make sure the link is in the notes here so you can get that for sure.
But I'll give you just one more example to think about. I remember I was really scared one time when I was about to go on stage, and I stopped and I thought, well, wait a minute, who am I thinking about? I thought, I'm thinking about myself. And I said, well, who should I be thinking about? The audience. I said, and I laughed at myself. I said, what does that make you, Marc? A selfish bastard. And when I started putting out the energy into the audience, and now when I go on stage, I literally think I love the audience.
Yes.
I want to give them love. I want to be positioned for them. And when I do my little sort of prayer and affirmation, it's all about being effective to them, not about me. None of it's about me.
Okay, first of all, love you so much. And I didn't know that was, what you were going to say, but I'm telling you, when I teach people how to be on camera, the first thing I say, when you press record and you have no idea who you're talking to and it's all about you and you're focused on what am I going to say and do I look good enough? Right. It is so hard and you are nervous because your ego is kicking in, right? But the minute you are connected, and for video it's a little bit different than your audience, but it's the same thing. When you're connected to that one person that you're speaking to, and you're really connected to the audience and what you're going to give them, and you're there to serve and play full out, the fear dissipates, right? Because you're not focused on you. And for me, that's like one of the number one tips that people don't get because they're so focused, and we're human beings, right? Ego's going to kick in. But when you learn that shift, it changes everything,
Well, and you brought up something that is another one of my philosophies. You realize even if you're speaking to, whether it's 10 people or 10,000 people, you are speaking to one person at a time. The idea is they're not experiencing everybody else around them. They want to be touched by you. I notice when I'm on stage with Pink, it's like you can see it in every audience member's eyes that they believe that she's singing to just them. Because she treats it like one person. I mean, back in the days of, saber-toothed tigers or whatever, when all those eyes were on you, it could be scary because they would be there to attack you. Now, it's your choice. And you're literally just talking to one person and then one person. When I studied with a speech coach, Patricia Fripp, who's one of the greatest speech coaches, she said, when you walk and when you look at the audience, you are looking at one person. Then another person. Then another person. So even if you're looking at the camera, think of it as a person.
It's one person.
I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to you right now and you right now. And that takes away the overwhelm of feeling like you are being sort of overpowered by an audience. And just love them. I love you. I really do. I'm putting it out with love. And I'll tell you, I've told that to so many people and they're like, oh my God. If I could just feel like I love them. And when you love somebody, are you inhibited to talk to them? Of course not. And you are there to give love. And trust me, I've talked to a lot of audiences who are like, who the hell is this guy? What's this drummer for Pink gonna tell me? They are not expecting me to love them. But when I go out and I genuinely give them love, it just sort of like makes them go, oh.
That takes down any guard, right? When you show up that way, when the audience feels that. And I will say, at Pink's concert, there was one moment where I remember, like, you literally felt like you were in her living room. And there are thousands of people, and you do feel that. And I feel like, Marc, like when you're like drumming your heart out, which I want to hear more about your story there too, like you can feel your passion and your sincerity. And I feel like people really connect to that. And yet when you're starting out, that competency, right? It's like, am I good enough? Do I know the skill enough? And in the beginning, when you're starting, I always say confidence does not come in the thinking of something. It comes in the doing
That's exactly
of
what
something.
CCC is.
Right?
You need to develop that capability, and that's what leads you naturally to confidence.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want is false confidence.
Yes.
You don't want to believe you're ready.
Because we've seen that too, right?
Well, that's why I lost the bad English. I thought I was ready.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, and I played professionally for many years, but I didn't realize that I really needed to go back to the foundation, develop my internal meter. Like the greatest sports coaches say, it's about foundation, foundation, foundation.
Yeah.
Develop that very strong foundation. And then even if you're nervous, even if you feel overwhelmed with nervousness, you've practiced it so much that it will just take over. It will come through. And after a while, it's like,
But Marc, I mean, drums wasn't new to you when you were auditioning at that moment. I mean, tell us a little bit about when you picked up those sticks. And because I actually know that you are a trained cellist, right? So
I did play cello, but my passion has always been with drums. It was more like...
And you just knew that was
And I knew that was my passion.
Yeah.
And it was just up to me to practice enough and get enough experience, get those hours, those Gladwell's 10,000 hours on stage playing with bands. I played with my first band when I was 9 years old.
9 years old.
So I just built it and built it and built it. Amazing. But even so, the bad English was a different thing because then I was with the world class of the world class.
It was a different level. Level. So you played here and now you're like,
apparently wasn't ready.
Right.
Okay. So I went back, spent 2 years just literally working on developing my internal meter because as I said, I made a deal that nobody would tell me I was speeding up or slowing down unless I wanted to speed up or slow down. So I spent hundreds or thousands of hours literally just going back to basics. Mm-hmm. So I knew that when I get on stage, no matter how nervous I was or no matter how offset I might be by any circumstances, that internal meter was going to be there. And now that's one of the things that I take pride on and I teach people about and I've talked about it. I've talked about my drumming DVD, how critical that is. And also I'm very comfortable playing with metronomes and click tracks and it's just anything having to do with meter because as a drummer, that's the foundation for me.
So, okay, I know everyone's dying to know, okay? And I want to get into your second book here because I think attitude is so pivotal in every aspect of our life. But what is it like touring with these incredible artists, you being one of them, but to tour all over the world with Pink and Cher, and I know that you've been with Pink for quite some time now. Like, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I know I'm not the only one who's curious.
Well, I will say it's an immense honor and an immense responsibility. Mm-hmm. And it's something I worked up to. And everybody on the Pink tour, the last tour as an example, we had 225 people. Wow. All 225 people are masters at what they do. If anybody isn't, they either quit or they disappear, so to speak.
They go away.
So we all have our own responsibility to have mastered our crafts and make her feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. And not only make her feel comfortable on her craft, make her feel comfortable personality-wise. She's also looking for a mesh, certain kind of person. Some people just gel, other people don't.
Sure. Because
the idea is that we are of service. If you can imagine being on stage in front of 50,000 people and not one set of eyes is looking at you, welcome to my world. That's the funny thing is when people call me a rock star, I go, well, actually, I work for rock stars.
Yeah.
I am there to promote and support her. Mm-hmm. And the other band members. I look at my business, I am in the service business.
Yes.
I'm there to be of service to the other musicians, to make it as easy as possible for them, to the dancers, to the band, to, of course, the artist, and of course, the audience. So when I look at it that way, again, it takes the focus off of me.
Right.
And I'm present for them. And I have a few philosophies that I subscribe to, which is, when I'm on stage, every single note matters. Every nuance matters. So I pay attention to every detail because for the real great rock star performers, there are no small moments. Right. Every detail is critical.
Yes.
And that's also how I attach a sense of purpose to every note. Because people talk about you need to be passionate, passionate, and passionate. Passion wears out. Passion wears down.
Yeah.
Purpose is the evolution of passion. If you attach a sense of purpose to every note, every nuance, then you become passionate about it. The passion feeds the purpose feeds the passion.
Okay, love this, because again, this translates to any aspect of your life, right? You can get really passionate about something or get inspired about something,
Right.
and then it's fleeting, right?
It's fleeting.
But when you have that purpose, that drives the passion, and vice versa. That is
Well, I'll tell
beautiful,
you,
my friend.
and here's the reality. How the hell else do you think I can play So What by Pink 800 times?
Right.
And at the 800th time be just as purposeful and passionate. As a matter of fact, I have more
That
fun
is
now than I
so
did at the
true,
beginning.
yes.
And I tell the joke about playing with Foreigner, that I was about to go on stage with Foreigner. I played with Foreigner off and on for 26 years. About to go on stage with Foreigner one time, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, oh my God, I must have played Feels Like the First Time, like hundreds of times. It's like God's big joke.
And everyone's waiting for it. Yes.
And then I went on stage and I had this attitude shift, and I realized, wait a minute, for most of these people, it is their first time.
Yes.
So how dare I deny them of their first time experience when I could just recreate it for myself and everybody wins. And from that point on, that's how I go on stage.
You know, that also, again, can translate to when I'm working with people on camera and they want to get this message out there. They feel like I've said it once, right? I put it out there already. And to go back and say, you know what, I'm going to attach a sense of purpose every time I share this message.
Right.
And I know who I'm talking to, because you think someone has watched a video or watched a show or watched a concert multiple times. But for many people, it is their first time.
Right.
And that, again, puts that purpose and life back into it every time.
Well, that's what, look, basic rock and roll philosophy, rock stars love to party. We want to have a good time. And every study that's shown the better time you're having with your performance, because I call everything a performance,
Yes.
the better time you're having with your performance, the higher level at which you perform.
Yes.
So have a good time, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And you can. I mean, I've seen the most incredible people, like when I was in Japan and they handed me my donut at the donut store, the guy just looked at me with a smile and handed me my donut like it was the most important thing. And it was like, because he was present.
Yeah.
He was there. It really, really did have purpose and passion to him.
Right.
And unfortunately in our society, we've been sort of downgrade or undermine when you're doing like maybe menial jobs that, they don't really matter. Well, they matter as much as everything else.
Every job matters.
On this tour with Pink, the third carpenter is just as important as Allie, the gal that sets up the dressing rooms, who's just as important as me, the guy playing drums, who's just as important as the tour accountant, we all have, if any one of us didn't do our gigs, the whole thing would fall apart.
Right.
Something would go wrong. And you need to realize that every single thing you do is so valuable. And the more fun you have with it, the more purpose and passion you attach to it. It's very simple. And you have that choice. You really do. So that's why my next book is based on the power of attitude.
All right, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we can't always control what happens to us.
That is true. Yes.
But we always have the power to control, change, and shift our attitudes about what happened to us.
Yes, yes.
And our attitudes are what drive our behaviors.
Yep.
And one attitude can drive many behaviors. And your behaviors are what determine the consequences of your life. It's A times B equals C. So simple. I apply this every single day of my life. And I'm certain that's why after 31 years, I'm still on top of the world class, playing with literally the most successful female artists on the planet.
Yeah.
Because these are decisions. Every moment is a decision about the attitude you're going to choose. You choose a more desirable attitude, you produce more desirable results and better consequences and outcome. And it's within your choice all the time.
Yeah.
Try it. See what I mean? Consciously shift your attitude. And then when I give my speeches, I give really specific attitude shifts. And I've been interviewing a lot of different people, a lot of top performers in every industry, experts in the areas of sales, technology, healthcare, finance, CEOs, musicians, world-class athletes, about how attitude is what is really forming their performance.
Absolutely. Yes.
And trust me, every decision you make, whether you know it or not, it starts with your attitude.
Absolutely.
That's what drives your behavior, not the other way around.
Right.
And this is really critical, and it's so simple. And I'm co-writing the book with my dear friend, one of my greatest mentors, Dr. Jim Samuels, who actually created the ABC formula. And so now I teach it, and now I give examples and I apply it to my particular work and situation, and now I can apply it to other, like when I do corporate speaking, I apply it to the particular corporation's business or mandate or purpose for their conference, because it's so powerful and it's so simple. The simplest things are the ones that work the best.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that that's something that we probably have all heard once or twice before. Like, we know our attitude drives behaviors that also drive consequences.
Yeah, we know it intuitively.
But we don't practice it, right? Or we find ourselves stuck in a similar pattern or behavior, and we don't realize that the attitude that is subconscious or the attitude that is within us is driving that consistently. And so I'm excited to read that book too, because it's just so great to go back.
Me too. I'm excited to finish it. We're working on it, but it's up to me.
Yeah.
I'm interviewing more people. I'll interview you too.
All right, fabulous. I love it. I have so much synergy here. And Marc, I just love your story, and congratulations just on what you have accomplished. You know, just to make a living doing something that you are so purposeful and passionate about and so skilled at, and then taking it into this whole new realm of speaking and taking what you've learned and bringing that to more people. I just think is really wonderful. We need more of that. So thank you.
Well, thank you. For me, the speaking has been a natural evolution, because I realized that music is such a great metaphor for top performance. So I can take this. I mean, I've been doing music clinics, drum clinics, like 1,000 of them. Then I realized, well, why limit it to just those people when I could take all this life experience and all the fun and the stories and apply it to other people's lives and other industries. And it's so rewarding for me, and it's rewarding for them. I don't even call myself a motivational speaker. I call myself an activational speaker.
Ooh, I like that.
Because I like to activate people to take action, as opposed to, because motivation is just the beginning.
Yes.
It's easy to be, I'm
like
motivated.
That passion, right?
And then, and then it dies. You need, that's why you need to pay a lot of attention and incorporate some of these philosophies and do it every single day.
Yes. Love it. Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Oh, just adore you.
Carrie
Just keep singing, Marc. Keep singing. All right. So if people want to get to know more of you, or can they follow you? Where can we find more Marc Schulman in the world?
Follow me.
Follow.
I'm right behind you. No. My Instagram and my Twitter are at MarkyPlanet, MarkyPlanet. My website is markschulman.com, MarkSchulman.
And we'll put the link here too.
.com.
Yeah.
And you can email me. You can always get me through my management at info@markschulman.com.
Yeah, and go see, I have to say, follow him wherever he is, because the concert will be amazing. But the Pink Tour, is it still happening?
Well, we're on a break now.
Okay.
We were out for nearly 2.5 years.
It was amazing, and I can't wait to see where you go next. So thank you, Marc.
I'm doing a lot of speaking gigs now. And if you do email me, I will email you back. It might take me a while, but I answer every email.
All right.
I promise. Mwah.
That's amazing.
Mwah.
Mwah. Well, thank you so much for watching this Inspired Living interview. I hope you are inspired. I hope you implement those 3 C's, and that you just recognize how important it is to take control of your attitude and your behaviors that create those consequences. So I want to hear from you. So please post your comments, and if you are inspired, share this with someone else, because when you are inspired, you inspire others. And that is what this world is all about. Until next time, keep dreaming it, living it, and being it.